Like if I say to you, oh, I'm going to put you on the Miller diet. That sounds great. What is the Miller diet? I go, you eat 1 pea a day. That will absolutely make you lose weight. Simon Miller, the Bald A-hole here, leader of the BLC, the Big Little Club. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you have to go out there and watch more videos. It's very important. Remember, it doesn't matter if you're big or you're little, you can be part of the club. Breathe. We have such a good topic to talk about today. Thank you to Mikey, who tweeted me at SimonMiller316 to bring my attention to this. And I always appreciate getting stuff like this through the mail, we call it. It's not mail at all, it's social media. We'll call it the mail, because we can do whatever the hell we want here. No one's going to stop us. No one's going to barge in the door and kill me. And if they do, this video is never going to make it to the light of day. And it will just be like a little snippet in the... No one's going to write bald guy from YouTube gets murdered. You'll never know. You'll never know. My YouTube channel just up and you'll never figure out why. But yes, a man from over here in the UK, I believe, spent pretty much around $20,000 on, well, I mean, plastic surgery is the best way to put it, to take him from a dad bod, as people say in 2020, to giving him a ripped physique. Let's get into it. So here's his picture, as you will have seen in the thumbnail as well, and we'll just go through it to give you some perspective. But a dad, gotta let you know he's a dad, makes some sympathy there, who was struggling to lose weight, has undergone surgery to give him an instant six-pack. Daniel Tills forked out more than £15,000 on Vaser liposuction, which selectively removes fat from deposits from around specific muscle groups, giving a more defined appearance. He then goes on to say that his wife was doing a lot of plastic surgery stuff, and that's where he got the idea from. But that he also tried that, I think it's pronounced aloe vera diet. Now, I didn't know what the aloe vera diet was. I'd never heard about it. So I went out and looked it up. Now, aloe vera straight away is a brand name. I think it's something that's been registered trademark. And that always raises my eyebrow, because I'm like, wait a minute, this sounds a little bit fruity. And anyway, as it turns out, I think this is right, but it's really quite hard to find stuff out about this because they're just trying to sell you things. It's been advertised on the back of buses too. But it sounds like the kind of diet where they basically give you a bunch of sachets and you drink the sachets for a while. I mean, someone compared it to a starvation diet. So straight away, I would argue maybe that's not the best route for this dude to go down. I'm not saying that he didn't try and lose the weight, but that doesn't sound like the most healthy way to do it. And as we've said time and time again, if you do go on a fad diet, eventually you will break. Like if I say to you, oh, I'm going to put you on the Miller diet. That sounds great. What is the Miller diet? I go, you eat 1 pea a day. That will absolutely make you lose weight if you're just having 1 pea a day. But actually, maybe it won't, because after a few days, your body is going to absolutely freak the hell out and not know what's going on, and you're not going to achieve your goals. So there was probably other things that he could have looked into, but we're going to talk about that in a sec. Anyway, the guy goes on to say that he did lose some weight, but he wasn't seeing the results that he wanted and lacked the muscle definition that he wanted to see. So he went to see a surgeon after this, who told him the deal and said it was going to be safe and so on and so forth. And he specifically says the operation would work to contour my stomach to create abs overnight by taking the stubborn fat around the muscles that were already hidden. He then had to have some kind of lymphatic manual drainage twice a week just to make sure there was no buildup of excess fluid. But as you can see here right now, I mean, yeah, he looks like a dude that's kind of in shape, and before he looks like a dude that wasn't really in shape. Now, the big point is, actually before, I mean, it doesn't look awful. It doesn't look terrible. Like, he's probably a little bit overweight, and no, he's not a body that people would, yearn for. I want to look like that dude. I mean, maybe you would. I don't know. But there's kind of two ways you can look at this. Now, the first one is if you've got the money and you want to do this, who the hell am I to tell you otherwise? Absolutely not. As long as it's safe and as long as you've taken the necessary precautions, go ahead and throw yourself into it. But what I think is more interesting, how do you, without the right knowledge and without the right education, how are you going to hold on to it? I don't want to spend 20 grand on anything that I think could go away. Like if someone says, Simon, I've got this, I like playing guitars, right? Simon, this amazing guitar. It's going to be £20,000 or $20,000, but it'll be the best guitar you ever play, and it's going to sound amazing and actually makes you a better guitarist. But the flip side is that it has legs, and anytime it can just leg it out the door. And if you're not watching it all the time, you're screwed. I mean, like, that's kind of a risky investment. Like, is this worth the pros and the cons? So now this guy, he spent all the money, and I always think it looks a little bit weird when people get in shape like this. Like, do you remember back in the day, or it was still probably going on, but there was a huge fad at the time about calf infillers. And everybody wanted to have their calves infilled to have bigger calves, or their ass. And I was like, it's just a strange thing to do. Like every time someone sees a picture of me, like, Millie, your calves are rubbish. I'm like, okay, I don't care. I'm working them, but it's not going to ruin my life. The point being, he was doing these fad diets, or at least I would determine as fad diets. And they are always, well, they're never going to get you where you want to go long term. You lose a bunch of weight at first, and then, like I say, your body will shut down, and you're not enjoying it anyway because you can't eat nice things, and you stop and you pile the weight back on because you start eating pizzas, chocolates, ice cream, and whoever knows what else. But, how is he going to be able to look like this if he doesn't know how to stay in shape? And I would argue, given what he said beforehand, maybe he doesn't. And that's really when, because I totally get it. Who wouldn't want plastic surgery to look better if you knew the results were going to be perfect? I'm sure there are some people that wouldn't be. Actually, personally, that's not my type of thing, because this comes into, do you want to earn it or do you want to just be given it? I don't think there's a wrong or right answer. But I certainly know that all the things I determined to be a success in my life feel so much better because I believe I put in the time, I put in the effort, and because I worked for it, they feel so much better at the other end. If it had just been handed to me, that's still great and it's still cool. And if somebody knocks on my door right now and give me $10 million, I'm not going to say no. I'm going to swim in the $10 million like Scrooge McDuck. But it doesn't give you the same kind of satisfaction that not only earning it will do, but you learn so much through that. And that's the thing I would worry about with this dude. Is I'd love there to be a follow-up article in the year. Does he still like this? Was he able to look like this? Has he got in better shape? And so on and so forth. And you can't be too down on it, because it's no different than somebody wants to get their breasts enlarged or shrunk, or no different than somebody wants a no job, or so on and so forth. And it actually proves there's all these videos out there saying I can get you abs in a week that I laugh at. Well, I was wrong. You can get abs in 24 hours. It will just cost you $20,000. The other thing I want to touch on, and we're going to get a little bit hippy trippy here, but I feel like it's important. And again, it's my YouTube channel. I can do whatever I want. The reason he probably wanted to get in shape in this way, it's a visual thing, right? It's an aesthetic thing, which again, I totally get. But that probably ties into some kind of underlying not mental condition, but there's probably some underlying mental health thing there that is probably more important to be addressed. Because even if you actually were able to get the body and the physique that you wanted to, which by the way is not possible, as soon as you pick up your first weight and love it, you've just started a whole lifetime of never being satisfied with how you look like. But if you think that that's going to fix all your problems, the answer is that it's not. Like, I'll always advocate for people working out and lifting because it makes you feel good and it makes you feel healthy, and what's more important than the health part of health and fitness. But if you're doing it because you think it's going to give you, and it will give you more self-worth and it will give you more self-confidence. But what I mean is, if there are any other underlying issues, getting big, ripped and jacked aren't going to solve them. It'll make you feel a little bit better, but you have to address the issue specifically. Of course you do. Maybe it is that you're a little bit lonely. Maybe it is that you don't know what you're searching for in life. Maybe somebody's broken up with you. Maybe there's been a death in your family. It could be one of so many things. And embracing the gym is going to help with that, because it does give you a purpose and it does give you a focus. But again, in terms of this example, we've removed all of that because the focus and the distraction were replaced with money and surgery. I'm not knocking it. I'm not. Do I agree with it? No. Would I ever do it? No. I think there's 1,000 better ways to spend that kind of money, but I don't think you should rip on people for what they decide to do in their own lives. He didn't hurt anybody else. He's clearly quite rich and good for him. But that's when, if somebody else saw this and thought, oh, maybe this is going to be the fix to all my worries, I'm like, it's probably not going to be. It's probably not going to be at all. And if you keep finding ways to distract yourself and not actually address what's in here, fitness should be used as something to help you, but fitness should never be the be all and end all. And that's just something I took away when I was reading this. I was like, I'm sure it has made him happier, and now he can play with his kids or whatever he was going on about. But if there is anything else there, it's going to start creeping back. And now not only does it start creeping back, but it starts creeping back. And when you look at your bank balance, it's $20,000 down. If you want to take a step removed from this again, don't we live in a fascinating medical world? Isn't technology and science just like flying forward? Whoever thought, if you had told me when I started lifting weights, there's going to be one day where, again, you can have like pillows shoved in your calves. People do it with their chest too to get pectoral muscles. And now we can just give you abs in 24 hours. I would have spat on you because I felt like you've just wasted my life. Do you not understand how precious life is? And now they'd be able to find me and spit right back in my face because I was absolutely incorrect. You can now pretty much get jacked by paying money for it. But again, that to me, it lacks the pump, it lacks the drive, it lacks the dedication. It lacks all of these things that I think the gym teaches you. And that's the main reason you should work out. Obviously, you want to look good too. You want to be able to see the results of your hard work. But ultimately, it gives you a challenge every single day. That's why I love the gym. You get up at whatever time you get up, and I've got to get all this kind of food in. I got to eat this way. I got to stay on point. I got to go to the gym. I got to push myself. I got to be better than I was the last time I went to the gym. These are all great things. These are all great things to jump upon, especially because then you can now use them in your everyday life. You're like, well, that worked in the gym. Is it going to work here in my day job? Yes, it will. Will it work in my relationship? Yes, it will. Will it work if I apply it to that kind of dream thing I wanted to do? Yes, it will. Doesn't mean that you're 100% going to achieve, because the first step is hard work and then everything else is just kind of doing life stuff. But, as long as you try these things and you don't regret it, then you've kind of won anyway. If you're on your deathbed and you're about to die and you look back through your life and you think, you know what? I wasn't necessarily a success at everything I tried, but damn it, I gave it a good go. I think you've had a pretty good life. Don't know how we got here. That is a massive jump, but I think it's true. So yeah, look, if you are the guy that spent 20 grand on your abs, get in touch. I'd love to talk to you. We can do the first ever interview, the first ever fitness interview. I think that would be really cool. But in the meantime, like the video, share the video, smash the subscribe button, hit the bell, ding, ding, ding. I've got a Patreon, patreon.com/Simon316. I've got merchandise, simon.bigcartel.com. New flexes, tees, and vests have been ordered. I'll update you when they come in. Just check out the description. You can see all of my stuff. And if any of it takes your fancy, you can click on it. But otherwise, I'll see you soon.